Temperature conversions. On this worksheet, what you're going to do is figure out how many degrees of one temperature is equal to a number of degrees in a different temperature scale. So here are our temperature scales in the reading material. The three scales are Fahrenheit, Celsius, and Kelvin. And it shows you a comparison of them here. And then when we look at our formulas, if we know our temperature in Fahrenheit and need to find Celsius, we're going to use this one. From Celsius to Fahrenheit, Celsius to Kelvin, and Kelvin to Celsius. So this shows us how to do them, and they are on your reading material, and they're also on the next page of the packet right here. Now they're going to look a little different on the reading material versus in your packet, but they are still the same conversions. They just are written in a different way, and I can show you that they are actually the same. And let me show you by doing one that we know is true here. Like right here, it shows me that let's do the boiling point of water. Okay, here's my boiling point of water, which is at 212 degrees Fahrenheit, 100 degrees Celsius, and 373 Kelvin. So what I'm going to do is show you that no matter which one I use, whether I'm using these from our reading material here, or if I'm using the ones that are on the page in your packet, they'll both get us to the same answer as long as you plug them into the calculator exactly the way that they are shown. So let me show you how it looks. Let's say that, pardon me, I know my Celsius temperature and I want to find, I know my Fahrenheit temperature and I want to find my Celsius temperature. So take a look at how different these two look on the two papers. All right, Celsius equals and Celsius equals. So they do look different, but see how you're still multiplying by 5 and dividing by 9 after you've subtracted 32. So here's how you would plug this in. If I know my Fahrenheit, which in this case we're talking about the boiling point of water, which would be 212 Fahrenheit. So I take my 212 Fahrenheit, I'm going to plug it in right here. You do not have to do anything special here. You're just going to plug it in exactly the way it shows. So I do 5 parentheses, because that means 5 times. My Fahrenheit is 212 minus 32, close my parentheses, and then divide that by 9, and I get 100, which I know here is equal to 212 degrees Fahrenheit. It's also the boiling point of water in this different temperature scale. So now if I were to use the other formula here, all right, I'm going to plug it in a different way. It's 5 divided by 9, and then open parentheses. My Fahrenheit was 212 minus 32, close parentheses, and I still get an answer of 100. So it does not matter which way you do this, as long as you plug it into your calculator exactly in the order that it shows you in the formula, using the parentheses where they belong. So you're going to use those formulas to fill in both of these pages, the temperature conversions page and your temperature and its measurement page. Here you'll have to find both Kelvin and Fahrenheit if it gives you Celsius, or fill in the other two for whichever one it does give you. Fill in your unknowns. And on this page you only have to find one equivalent temperature. So Kelvin to Celsius, since I already know my Kelvin and I'm going to Celsius, I know I only have to subtract 273 to get my answer, and you'll do the rest of these the same way. Figure out what you know and what you're trying to find, and use the appropriate formula. Excuse me, let me make sure you can see this. So Kelvin to Celsius, make sure I use the appropriate formula, and use these for all of the ones you have. Now, the only thing it doesn't show you on here is if you need to get from Fahrenheit to Kelvin or back, you're going to have to use two formulas. So let's say I wanted to go from Fahrenheit to Kelvin. I can only get from Fahrenheit to Celsius, but then once I find my Celsius temperature, then I can take my Celsius temperature, and convert that to Kelvin. So some of these you will have to use two formulas in order to find your answer. So go ahead, write the correct temperature here, make sure you put the correct unit afterward, and note that Kelvin does not have a degrees symbol, so you put degrees Celsius, degrees Fahrenheit, but just K for Kelvin. If you do get stuck on anything on this page or the next page, or if you still have any questions, come up and ask.